This is Robbie Illuminati, the motherfucking op killer, and your eyes, ears, mind, body, and soul are checking out the 3 Count Podcast.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man down, know what y'all like. Hit him with a 3 count. On the top row, crowd already know how I fly him to the flow like. Hit him with a 3 count. And your boy real chicken.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's your boy, your nephew, your cousin, it's the Don, the Kenny G of Indie Tag Teams, and the host of the 3 Count Podcast debate show. Let's go down the roster. Introducing first, he is the Red Dog of Red Dogs. He's my tag partner because I don't do shit, I don't run shit, I just talk shit. He's the landlord of the Dog Pound, and he is your favorite mercenary. He is the Red Dog.
What's up? What's up? Yes, it's the Air Force veteran intel specialist, the one you call on to get the job done, and the guy who just seems to kind of have technical difficulties all the time. It just randomly sucks.
Yeah. And last but certainly not the least, he is the drip master himself. Seth Rollins ain't got shit on him. He is my little brother, and that is the only merit that it brings him onto this show. I promise you, he probably only watched SmackDown this week. Ladies and gentlemen, it is JJ.
Stop exposing me, first of all. And second of all, drip driving, got the club vibing. Love the sidewalks, keeping me off the streets. Chitty banging. Study every day in. That's all.
Hey, you ever notice that, like, when you play Call of Duty, you're like, man, I need to get Ghost. And then mom's like, we got Ghost at home. That is JJ right now.
Wrong.
Right. You just look like every bad person from an 80s action movie trying to be Covop.
That's
Come on.
Covert operations. This man over here is just like, I just waiting for you to just have a bad British accent. That's it.
Come on. It's a good look.
I got him in my sights right now.
Kill confirmed.
Kill confirmed. Tag denied. Try it again.
Oh man. All right, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you, we had technical difficulties, so we're not live. So for those of you who are listening or watching after the fact, make sure you hit that bell button, okay? Subscribe, hit that bell button so you get notified every time we post a video. Make sure you also subscribe to all of our podcast platforms, whether that be Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, podcast.net, all those different podcast sites. Wherever you get your podcast fancy on, make sure you subscribe. On Apple Podcasts, make sure you give us a 5-star frog splash review, and just tell a friend about us. Also, make sure you follow us on all of our social medias at 3count_pod. That's the Twitter, but everything else is 3countpod. That's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Clapper, that other thing that's YouTube, the other alternative, the YouTube.
Oh, Ramble? Rumble.
Rumble, that's what it's called. And I'm trying to think what else we got. We got everything. So just make sure if you got social media, just make sure you follow us, okay? Also, go buy a shirt. Enough said. Buy a shirt. All right, prowrestlingtees.com/3countpod. That's the number 3. Don't you dare type in THREE. It's the number 3. And also, before we get into some other announcements, let me turn it off to my good pal of Cliff over here, and he's going to tell us what's going on in our other studio.
All right, so this week, there is one interview planned. One will be coming out too. So on Thursday, expect to see another one. Who's going to be on there? I'm not real sure yet. But for Tuesday, let's get into talking about it. Because even though, some people don't want to be working on Tuesdays, that's why they're not champion. This man is a champion all the time. He was one of our favorite interviews. We actually had a great time talking with him. Some of you may have seen his clip. Let's talk about the 6-man champion himself, Ring of Honor's own Shane Taylor. His interview comes out on Tuesday. Chaz and I were on the interview. We had a blast. So you guys definitely go check that out.
Yeah, no, Shane Taylor definitely dropped gems, dropped a bunch of knowledge on us, and I am like forever grateful for that. So definitely check that out. JJ, you got an announcement to make, don't you?
Yes, I do. All right. So how do I word this? So I have a review out on my JJ Reviews channel. It is Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage. So I came out that review maybe like 2 weeks ago. So it would be pretty cool if you go check it out. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. It helps the algorithm out immensely. And upcoming projects. I'm working on a script for Injustice. The movie review that's gonna come out probably before Thanksgiving break. I don't have a definitive due date for that, but it's gonna be before Thanksgiving break.
All righty, awesome. So yeah, make sure you check out Now Into the Ring, our other show, and make sure you check out JJ Reviews, and so you can argue with him in the comments about movies because he does not like anything.
Oh my! Everybody keeps saying I hate everything.
You do hate everything.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
I don't hate everything.
Tell that in the comments below.
I'm about to say, yeah. Well, yeah. I haven't. Did you like Shang-Chi?
I have not watched it yet, so I can't give you an accurate statement on that.
Did you like Olaf Presents?
Have you seen those yet?
Wait, say it again.
Have you like Olaf Presents?
Olaf Presents.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you gotta see. Okay. Well, before we get into it, I need to explain this to you, and this is for everyone who's listening in this. Listen, if you have Disney Plus, which I feel like every person in the world almost has Disney Plus. You need to go check out. They just dropped this past Friday on Disney Plus Day. It's called Olaf Presents. Now, Olaf, for those of you who don't know, is the snowman.
Snowman, yeah.
Yes, from Frozen. Now, there are 5 shorts that are out right now. I'm pretty sure they're going to do more, but there are 5 out right now. And Olaf Presents is pretty much Olaf retelling classic Disney movies.
Oh.
Okay?
It's probably going to be really stupid, but funny.
It is hilarious.
It is great.
There is the Little Mermaid, Moana, Tangled, Aladdin, and The Lion King. I won't say anything else, but that is something non-wrestling related that anybody who has Disney Plus needs to go check that out. Super funny, super hilarious. You can watch that with the fam. If you have kids, you can definitely check it out with your kids. I feel like your kids will enjoy it, but even for my adults, you would like it as well. I watched it at like 8 o'clock in the morning Friday and was cracking up. So yeah, check that out. Disney got a free cheap plug out of us. That was so good. But all right, let's get right down to it, guys. Let's get to talking about wrestling, and let's start with our match of the week. All right, match of the week. So let's go around around the horn and let's talk about what do we feel like was our best match of the week. JJ, you can go first.
All right, I'm going to go with KO and Seth. I really actually enjoyed this match, and it set up with KO's heel turn when he went ballistic on Big E. I thought the setup was perfect. It showed how Seth was able to get into a head of a babyface and make him crumble. So that's personally why I like it and why it's my match.
That is probably the best answer you've ever given on this podcast. Wow, that was, and you were ready for you had that. You watched Raw this week?
Sadly.
You said sadly, but the way you talked about it, man, you made it sound like
right. Like the way you were talking about this match, oh man, Monday Night Raw.
Because the crazy thing is, you're talking about a match that less than 1 million people watched.
Yeah, fact. Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right.
It was good in it, and the storytelling behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I you can't
Oh,
you can't
okay.
go wrong with that.
No.
You can't. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. You can't go wrong with that. All right, Cliff, what you got? Match of the week.
I think my match of the week is going to be Britt Baker. I'm sorry, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Tay Conti on Full Gear.
Cool.
Why?
Cool.
Because I'm not telling you what's my match of the week.
I figured that. Yeah. All righty. So my match of the week. My match of the week is actually what you call it? It's coming from Dynamite. It's a tag match. Leo Rush and Dante Martin versus Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty. Bruh, let me tell you, when I was like standing up in my living room, marking out for everything that these cats were doing, I was marking out. It was really good. It was a really good wrestling match. Just I can't say anything else, but it was just a really, really good tag match. Like it was a really good match. I can't say anything else. It was a really good match. If you ever have the time, if you have not seen Dynamite this past week, go check it out. Go check that match out. It was really, really, really good. So shout out to those 4 guys for putting on probably one of the best tag match. One of the best tag matches this past week. All right, moving on to our debate topics. So, speaking of women's wrestling, let's talk about the women's revolution. It was a comment made this past week. Undertaker made a comment in an interview stating that his wife, Michelle McCool, is one of the most underappreciated women's wrestler when it comes to fighting for the women in the WWE. So we're going to debate, is she underappreciated for the things that she done and for her fighting for the women in WWE? Let's start with you, Cliff, then we'll go Josh, and then I'll take us
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. She's very underappreciated. We don't talk about all the things that she was doing, like running with the championships and stuff like that. The women's championship. We don't talk about those kind of things that she was able to do. And then behind the scenes, we know that she was putting in work, as like an agent and putting in as a producer. So yeah, I definitely have to agree with Taker on this one, that she was very neglected is the word I'll use, because I feel like during the whole period, like people talk about your AJ Lee's, people talk about your Charlotte's, your Sasha's, your Trish, your Lita's, but there was a bridge in there, man, where Michelle McCool was holding it down, and she was the go-to, and people don't look at her that way. And yeah, I feel like her place in history has been very overlooked, and I have to agree with him on that.
JJ.
I agree. Especially what Cliff said, it's just like when we look back at the time, what do we call this era? Don't we call it like the
butterfly belt? What are you talking about?
The Divas era? That's what we call it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we look at that era, man, like WWE didn't, take them seriously, and then at the same time, you know what I mean? So they don't get any recognition, even the actual good ones, you know what I mean? In that division, they don't get the credit. So yeah, I think she is extremely underrated. Like we talk about even the Bellas, for better or worse, sickness and health. The Bellas, they still get, you know what I mean? They still get praises for it. But yeah, Michelle McCool doesn't. And it is unfair. So I agree.
Okay. So I agree with what Taker said, that she's underappreciated. I agree with the fact that she's underappreciated, but I don't agree with putting her in that same echelon as your Trish, as your AJ Lee. Now, I know that's probably real jaded of me to say, and I say this, and this is why I say this. I'm gonna argue both points. Why I think she's underappreciated? Yes, because during that time period when, like Josh was saying, during that Divas, the Butterfly Belt era, there were bright spots in that time period. There was, Beth
Not
Phoenix.
Not many, but yeah.
Not many, but we remember that. This is when we had Beth Phoenix. This is when we had Eve. This is when we had Caitlyn, Layla. Some bright spots were there. Michelle McCool being one of those bright spots. Now, on the flip side of that, and it's bad because there's one story, one segment that sticks out. It is when I think it was Lay Cool and Mickey James, and I think we all know where I'm going. The story when they were,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
They were legitimately, it was legitimate bullying, legit bullying. They call it Piggy James and all that stuff, all that type of ordeal. I just don't see Michelle McCool as far as storyline wise. Whereas, like, I can pick out a story that, oh yes, that storyline was good. You can name a Trish Stratus storyline. You can name out AJ, the Bellas, the Sashas, and all that. Those names that when we talk about the women who were really pushing the envelope for the women's revolution before it became a legitimate thing, you can name storylines as far with the matches. That puts them up there, that gives them that merit of being one of a big name as far as pushing the envelope for women. Michelle McCool doesn't have that. Michelle McCool's work rate, yes. Michelle could work, yes, but she wasn't moving the needle. She wasn't. Was she good? Yes, but she wasn't moving the needle. As far as to say is like your Sashas, your Charlottes, the Beckys, the Four Horsewomen, and the rest of those names. She underappreciated. Yes, she does not give as much credit as she deserves. But let's not overhype Michelle McCool.
Okay? Nobody's overhyping Michelle McCool.
Yeah,
we're talking about a woman who. It's funny because you bring up the Piggy James segment, but that run that she had with Lay Cool, where they were the women's wrestling champion, not the Divas. They were the co-women champion. That was actually a lit kind of like era because it had never been done before. Let's be real. Like through the men's era, like there's never been like co-men wrestling champions. It was just this one time where we had this weird spot where two women got to hold the same title and they broke it in half and they were walking around with both of it. That was kind of a cool era. And you're talking, and not only just that, but just think about the things when she came back, because remember, she left for a while because, she was fighting cancer, but she came back in that first Women's Rumble and dominated all the way up until the next year when they were like, all right, well, we'll let someone else have more eliminations. But she was there. She had 6 eliminations herself. I'm just saying that Michelle McCool, like, going out and continually putting up in the front that, hey, women need to get seen. And she was one of those people who was help pushing to get out of that Divas era and into that back to that women's wrestling era. That was what it was. That was her fight, man. And so maybe she didn't have like the big storylines up ahead and front where it's like, hey, we did this. No, but she does have that big move behind the scenes where she's like, hey, they don't need to be called divas. These are women wrestlers. They don't need to be slapping each other and wearing skimpy outfits. They can actually be wearing some real attire and showing off how badass they are.
I agree. I would put Natalya over Michelle McCool. I think Natalya is more underappreciated than Michelle McCool. I think if we're going in that era, if we're talking about the women who are really underappreciated, I have to go with Natty. I think Natty is legitimate, probably the most underrated woman in the history of WWE. And I know that's a bold statement, but I would go as far as there.
But we're not talking about underrated. We're talking about underappreciated.
Well, I mean, I was same thing as far as
And
underappreciated.
I can say it, but Taker said that she was one of the most underappreciated women's wrestler, not she was the most unappreciated female wrestler.
Right.
But I mean, I agree. Natty is definitely being shit on all the time. Like
Exactly, yeah.
all the dumb stuff they had her doing, all the stuff that she's doing now, the flip flopping, like everything. Dude, she's had, and people talk about heel turns about the Big Show in WWE. Natty, you don't ever know when she's a face or when she's a heel. One day she's on the heel side, the next week she's back on the face side, and you're like, what happened? She's like, oh, these are my friends, but I'm gonna team with those people over there. Like, yeah, but Natty's had a great career, and I think we can all talk about that. She's very much like, she's always on the forefront of like pushing for women's wrestling, but we don't talk about Michelle McCool's push behind the scenes as well. They talk about like how Natty is the benchmark and that they want people to be more like Natty because she's always just consistent. You know, she doesn't like, she rocks the boat when she has to, but she doesn't rock the boat all the time. She's just a constant professional. But we don't talk about that with Michelle McCool, and Michelle McCool's out there doing it. So I mean, I feel what you're saying though. Like, there's other people who've done more, and there's probably people out there who have more memorable storylines. So I can definitely understand about like the Trish and Sasha's and AJ's. But you know, Michelle, like, someone had to hold the bar down.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
She didn't move the needle, but she definitely didn't. She didn't push it back. You know what I mean?
Correct. I can. Yes. Yes. That's the first statement. Yeah. She definitely did not push it back. But yeah, she definitely did hold it down. I mean, I remember going back as a child, you know, watching Michelle McCool. Michelle McCool was one of my favorite divas at the time because she was holding it down during that time period. But yeah, she is underappreciated. Yes. My take is that I think there are others who are even more underappreciated that don't get that fair shake, like Natalia. Like, I'll give it like Beth Phoenix. I feel like doesn't get the credit.
Beth Phoenix is a Hall of Famer.
She got her credit.
So you mean to tell me, okay, like, let's be real. Is Michelle McCool in the Hall of Fame? I don't remember seeing her in.
Nope.
But Beth has done a lot. Like, she did a lot in the business. Like, she won. She was a champion, the Divas champion. She was a champion. She's still doing commentary. She's still giving into the business, right? She's still pushing like the envelope. She's a Hall of Famer.
Great Khali.
She had that stupid storyline with the Great Khali, you know. She's also one of 3 women to eliminate a dude in the men's Royal Rumble. Like, she stamped it. She knows what she did. I think when it comes to Michelle, like I said, like, I agree. There's probably other women out there, and you picked Beth. And I was like, you know, maybe Caitlyn. I might have gone with as someone that, you know, Celeste was like amazing while she was in WWE. You know, I can agree. There's others out there that I was like, Layla would be another one. Yeah. Molly Holly. You know what I mean? Like, as far as underappreciated, although Molly is also in the Hall of Fame.
Molly's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But, you know, when people were talking about Trish and Lita, Molly was like that one, that mighty Molly was like holding it down.
Molly was that third tier. I'm gonna say only that sounds so negative, third tier, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Like, she's like, you know, if that's the, you know, your God tier, right? Yeah. Right underneath there, you know, there's Molly. I think who else is in there? Jacqueline, Jazz. All the. Yeah, so I got
Victoria. There's a name right there.
There it is. That's the name. That's the one. I was like, there's somebody I'm missing. That's the one. That's the one.
Alicia Fox? Like, I mean,
that's another. Yes.
I feel where you're coming from. There's other women out there that we could talk about being underappreciated.
Alicia Fox is. She's underrated. Yes, absolutely, Josh. She's
batshit crazy.
Yes. She's definitely underrated for reals. All righty. I like that discourse that we just had with that one. All right, let's go on. Move temp check. Temp check. All right, temp check. For those of you that don't know, temp check is we're going to go around. We're going to either give you our hottest wrestler or our coldest wrestler going into this week, being it is November the 14th, 2021. So who's the hottest wrestler or the coldest wrestler going into this week? Josh, who you got?
Hottest wrestler, KO. Coldest wrestler, Nia Jax. Oh, wait, let me not do that.
Oh, that's not fair for her.
That's not fair.
That's not fair for her.
That's not funny.
that's definitely that's trash. You know, that's like saying the women of Ring of Honor, the entire Ring of Honor staff, like they're the coldest. Fucked up.
Terrible.
They're cracking himself up. Look at this man.
I had dying.
I was waiting on that one, bro.
All of us were just like, nah.
Okay,
It's wild because we talked so much shit about Nia Jax. The moment that she got released, we were like, damn, that sucks.
No, that's fact. It's facts. That's
okay.
Because we like, okay, let's be real. We like Nia. It's just,
as a person, sure.
Yeah,
I mean, she's kind of
sometimes her character, you know, she sometimes hurts some people.
Yeah. So all right, is that just, all right? Who's your coldest wrestler, Josh?
My coldest wrestler. Damn. I don't have a coldest wrestler, but I have a hottest faction as well. Toxic Attraction. Boom. Bingo. Bam. Pow pow. Boom.
Okay.
Skadoosh.
All
I don't
right.
have cold.
You don't have a cold. All right, cool. That's fine. All right. So my hottest wrestler, I'll take this one. My hottest wrestler going into this week.
Your tribal chief.
The new AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page. Yeah. Psyched you all out. Y'all thought I was gonna come back again with the tribal chief, but no, not this time. This week, I'm sorry, but Hangman is legit. He might be my hottest wrestler for the next month. Like I honestly, I think I got a little mini. This is not a little mini rant, but everyone gets flagged for AEW about storylines and they don't have good stories and they got matches are awesome, but the Hangman Adam Page story from Jump, if you look at it from day one up to this point, has literally been one of the best stories in the past decade. One of the best. Just from him being in that first ever AEW title match losing to Jericho, then trying to, then teaming with Kenny, being the tag champs, losing his confidence, Kenny winning the belt, winning the Eliminator tour, facing Kenny in the Eliminator championship, the Eliminator tournament, losing to Kenny, right? Kenny winning the belt, then Hangman Adam Page right now, that whole story has been A1. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot tell me that, AEW has bad stories, because Hangman Adam Page has that story delivered last night at Full Gear. The match was awesome. I legit had a tear in my eye, guys. Like, the little meme of you get the text messages was like, Dad, why are you crying so effing loud? And then that was me. That was me. My wife is a witness. She was right there next to me, looking at me like I was stupid. So no, Hangman's my hottest wrestler going into the week. Coldest wrestler, coldest wrestler is I don't even. I don't have a cold wrestler. Now I'm sitting here thinking about I'm trying to make one up, but I don't have a cold wrestler of the week. So Cliff, what you got?
Um,
Got your in the box, out the box. Since you
let's talk about who's heating up.
Okay, there we go. There. He takes the whole different categories.
So as far as who's heating up, let's be real, man. Even though this man got cut from Ring of Honor, he made his debut on AEW. He is now All Elite. He is lethal. He is Jay Lethal. Heating up, man, right off the jump. Let's be real. Who's ice cold to me? It's gonna sound weird to say this way, but the Inner Circle. And I'll tell you why. So they just ran this story with America Top Team and Men of the Year, and they won. What's next?
It's the heel turn, bro. It's the breakup story.
They're not going to break up. So Tony Khan's not going to let them break up. They're just going to separate. They do something. We're just going to separate you guys and just let you run your own different storylines. But I don't know. I don't see a place, right? So what you're gonna run, and I hope this happens. Let me be honest. I want to see Santana Ortiz start challenging, FTR, start challenging the Lucha Bros for the tag titles, the Young Bucks. I want to see them win the damn tag titles, right? Sammy obviously is going to be going against Jay Lethal, right? And then after that, where's Chris? What's Chris doing? What's Hager doing, right? Like, we don't know. We don't really know anything about what's going to be happening next. And so that's why I kind of put them in the cold category, because it's like, yeah, maybe you won this match, but really, you really didn't do anything, to be honest. You beat 3 dudes, and then really it was a 5-on-2 because 3 of the guys never been in a pro wrestling match. And 2 other guys, it was Men of the Year, right? So Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, which I would even go off and venture to say Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, like, kind of ice cold. I mean, I know they're doing their thing on Dark, but
who watches Dark?
It's Dark. Dark is non-canon, man.
No, it's not. It is canon. The bad thing, I would go and be like, yeah, and agree with that if it wasn't true. Like,
I know it's canon, but it's like it feels like it's not.
It's right. It does. It's like it's Agents of Shield. How Agents of Shield was.
But isn't
it was canon, but not canon, but no one really cared. Like it mattered, but it didn't. Like that's what Dark is. It's Dark is on ABC.
Bruh.
Of like, yeah, we're in the MCU, but we're not going to be in the movies.
Or like the Netflix series. The Netflix series.
See, that's even a better one too,
because the Netflix series, they'll reference it, but they won't ever show
up. Correct. Yes. So yeah, anything that's not in the movies, that's not on Disney Plus. So the Netflix series and your and ABC show. Yeah, Cloak and Dagger. That's another one. Runaways.
The Inhumans.
I didn't even watch that, and I was pumped for that. I didn't even watch it.
Right, but I'll give you my hottest wrestler though.
Yeah.
Let's be real. My hottest wrestler. He's the new AEW champion, Hangman Adam Page. I was like, King Roman, is that now a thing? But yeah, Hangman definitely. You're right. Like, storytelling wise, this is like a great 2-year story. And remember, like, when we started this podcast, I was not a Hangman Page fan. I was like, I don't see what everybody's talking about. Like, I just didn't get it. And even on day 0, when they brought him out and they're like, he's the new prospect and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. I can get behind this, right? And I didn't watch his match with Pac when they were in the UK because Pac was having some issues. But then, like, he showed up, he won the Battle Royal, and I was like, all right, cool. I get it. And then he won his next match at the next pay-per-view. I think it was like Fight for the Fallen. I was like, I don't get it. I don't get him.
You're crazy. I remember like at your time. I remember all of this, bro. I remember all this. Yes.
And then I remember him like going against Chris Jericho at All Out, and I was just like, I don't see it. Like everybody else sees it, I don't see it. And then like there was a few things that happened, right? Like he had the title run with Kenny, the tag title run, and I was like, that's cool. I still don't get him, but it was this thing that he did on BTE, right? If you guys want to go look at the episode, it's called Monologue, and it's like the last 10 minutes, and it's just him sitting outside and like in the wild, and just like cuts this crazy monologue, and like he won me over with it. And then like as I started paying attention more, right, there was things that were being done and things that were being said, like the little banner, right, was just like wants to buy a tractor lawnmower for his family. And like as he like kept winning, and then he won Matt Hardy's money, he turned around and bought a tractor mower. He had the Dark Order with him. I was like, oh, that's a great little story, but I didn't realize like the bigger story was being built. And then he just like won me over more and more. Like I was under the impression, I was like, yeah, he's a good looking dude with a badass theme song. Like that's cool. And then like the more like I see him, the more I'm like, you know what, bro? Yeah, you got me.
Man. I see. Cause his Ring of Honor stuff I've watched, with the Bucks and all that, and the pre elite stuff. I was a fan from day one, and I was waiting for it, and this happened. He's the champ. I'm like, yes. So I'm super pumped for Hangman as champion. I'm excited for Dynamite to see what this new era of Dynamite, to see where we go next. All right, let's move on to our second debate topic, and that we're going to the WWE Survivor Series is coming up, guys, next week, right? That's next week, right? Yeah. Survivor Series, or is it either? Yes,
next week or week after.
It's coming up within the next 14 days or less. So the Survivor Series teams were announced on social media last week. No, there were no special thing about it. Just they were announced, and we are going to grade the Survivor Series teams. So let's start this one off. All righty. So if I can pull it up real quick, if it ever pops up. All righty, there it is. Wait for it. Where's my Survivor Series team? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Here we go. Survivor Series teams. All right. So for Monday Night Raw, right? We have Seth Rollins. We have Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, Bobby Lashley. For the SmackDown men, we have Drew McIntyre, we have Jeff Hardy, we have King Woods, and we have Happy Corbin, because someone has to take Sami Zayn was in it, but someone's supposed to be taking Sami Zayn's spot. And so let's start with the men.
Why is Sami Zayn being replaced?
I don't know. I don't know why. I didn't watch SmackDown like this past week. So I don't know.
Well, there's okay. I have a problem with SmackDown's team, right? So you have King Woods on the team, right?
Right.
Where the fuck is Kofi?
I'm about to say the same thing. Where's Sir Kofi?
Like, where is the only person on the roster who matters next to the Tribal Chief? I mean, I have to put that out there. Like, you legitimately, like, Adam Pearce, right, who's not even a manager type person, like, put it out there that he wants all former champions on Raw's team. And that's why Bobby Lashley got to challenge Dominic Mysterio for his spot. And he won. I'm just genuinely confused as to why we can't get Kofi Kingston in the SmackDown team. So for that, SmackDown, you ain't getting a high rating. Not for me. I can get behind Raw. That's a great list of dudes to have on their squad. But SmackDown can kiss my ass not having Kofi on the team. Unless like they do something where it's like they're gonna throw it up like Happy Corbin versus Kofi like that Friday before for a spot, then maybe I can get behind it. But if not, fuck it. It's trash.
Trash.
Throw it away.
What about you, Josh?
Same situation. I'm just like, where is Sir Kofi? Seriously. Where he at? Is he hiding in the fridge? Is he in Titus Catering? I hope not. I hope not. That'd be horrible. Is there anybody even left in catering though? That's the real question here. But yeah,
The more I keep thinking about it too, man, the more I don't know.
What if Kofi? What if Kofi gets put in there on Friday?
then it's solid.
B-.
So okay,
It's still Raw. Raw got the better team.
Yeah.
It's not even a debate.
Who's on that roster again for SmackDown?
for SmackDown,
Yeah.
let's see here. So I don't even know. Cesaro. I'm trying to think. Cesaro,
Xavier Woods.
Sheamus. Jeez. If they wanted to do somebody from Hit Row.
SmackDown hasn't put their team together yet? Is that what you're guessing?
Nah, I don't know. They missed that one. They got that one person. But it's Drew, Jeff, Woods, and Corbin.
There's so many other people out there. I mean, Corbin, like, okay.
I get why.
With due respect to Corbin, like he definitely deserves to be in that spot. But I can't get behind like
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff shouldn't be in there. There's no reason to have him on the squad.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, that was the same thing. My iffy with that was
we can't get Swerve. We can't get Swerve on the squad. Like Hit Row, legitimately one of the hottest acts coming out of NXT into SmackDown and still showing off how good they are. You're just gonna be like, nah, we're not gonna have him. Also, can we also talk about how?
What if they put Shinsuke?
I fucks with Shinsuke, but the thing is though, I want Jeff gone. I want Happy gone, right? Because I want Shinsuke Nakamura and I want Kofi Kingston in there. Those are former champions that we're talking about not on the team. Let's be real. Sammy and Corbin are not. They haven't won the big one, right? But you have Kofi and Shinsuke who have, and you're just like, nah, we just throw in Sammy. Sammy's a solid worker by all means. Not going to debate that part. And Corbin is a great heel. But I want to see a competitive match, and I want to see former champions. Like, I can't get that. I want Jeff out of there as well. Like, I want those three out. I want Xavier. I want Swerve. I want Kofi, and I want Shinsuke Nakamura. Well, you know what? To be fair, though, Shinsuke does have the Intercontinental title, and he'll be fighting against whoever has the U.S.
Oh,
title.
that's right. You know what? I didn't.
I just thought about that as I'm speaking about it.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
But you better get me Rick Boogs, because that man is legendary. No one is gonna. That man is amazing.
He's hilarious. He is funny. He is hilarious. He is funny. All All right, moving on to the women's side. All right, so for the Raw Women's Survivor Series team, we got Bianca Belair. We have Queen, the Queen of the Ring, even though they didn't call it that. But wait, whoa, why'd my screen go?
Black.
It did just go black. Whatever.
I got you though.
So you got it. Yeah, my screen just went. Did my phone just die on me?
So we got Bianca Belair, we got Rhea Ripley, we got Liv Morgan, we got Carmella, and we got Queen Zelina Vega on Raw. SmackDown side, we have Sasha Banks, Shotzi, which it's not Shotzi Blackheart, it's just Shotzi. Shayna Baszler, Natalya, and Aaliyah. But Aaliyah's been replaced.
Leah's been replaced.
Naomi.
She has been replaced by Naomi.
They were talking about it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just talked about it on Smack. Yep.
Which is bullshit. Well, actually, two ways. It's bullshit. Just period. Naomi should be on the squad. And like, you're not featuring new talent in these Survivor Series matches. Like, you have Aaliyah, you have Swerve. I'm glad Shotzi's there because she's actually made a huge impact. No pun intended. Sorry, guys. But she made a huge impact in SmackDown so far.
I get it. I got that reference.
Thanks, Captain America. Anyway, so these guys, like, we have to be showcasing new stars all the time. Like, I just don't understand, like, why we can't put Aaliyah on her. And Aaliyah got a win. She got the pin.
She did.
Yes.
She don't win anything. She didn't win a match in NXT, man. She got a win on SmackDown.
It was kind of strange. I'm not gonna lie.
It was very weird to see her win.
What if they put just random? What if they put Top Dollar in that spot?
No, because he's not the face of the squad. I get it, right? You pick Top Dollar because it's for Baltimore, but he's not the dude. Sorry, I like Top Dollar, and you are as what you put out there. But Swerve is the guy from the squad. Now, what you could do is have the guys out there with Swerve, right? And then have them cost one of the dudes from Raw to lose so that they could keep going, so that you could establish whether he's a face or a heel. But regardless, they're down for SmackDown. That's what they do.
Yeah, no facts. I as far as women, I think I'm going with the Raw as well. It has the better squad. Really? I mean, SmackDown's
No.
I think Raw got the best squad. I mean, what?
Bro,
It's
SmackDown has a freaking Mandalorian, bro. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
I say that, but what his name? Y'all said it, but watch Raw. Watch the Raw women win. You what? Well, you wait. You just that the Raw women's team is going to win. They are.
I'm like, no, not at all.
Stop
I
it.
think this is what's gonna end up happening, right? Shotzi's gonna cost Sasha Banks her spot and get her eliminated, okay? But you still have Shayna Baszler on that squad. And remember, she murdered everybody in the Elimination Chamber by herself.
And then lost to Becky.
That doesn't matter. That's irrelevant, sir.
The next
I'm
month.
saying my point. Hey, first of all, it was by a roll-up. And then
the fruit roll up, by the way. The fruit roll up.
And then Becky left. Because she had a baby.
Yeah, she got knocked up.
I think it comes down to like I think in this case, right? I think Carmella is probably the first one eliminated. And then from there, I think Naomi and Shayna and probably Shotzi are the last ones from SmackDown. If it's Naomi. If not, it's Aaliyah. But that TCB, man, she's my lock though. I'm like, yep.
Anyway,
I'm just mad they turned her heel. Fuck you, WWE, for turning her heel. She's a badass face. And it was Sasha's fault. The reason why she lost the match. She had every right to be pissed off and whoop the shit out of Sasha. I don't care what anybody has to say.
That's facts. That's facts.
We didn't
That's
have a
facts.
show last week, so I
You're right. You're right.
It's the same thing. It was Big E's fault why Kevin Owens lost.
Yeah.
So he has every right to beat the shit out of Big E. The Big O has every reason to beat up Big E.
Factual.
Let's call this man the Big O.
That's what he called himself.
I know.
Big E was
I know. You just said it.
Big O. Take it over for Big E. Let's be real, man. Like, and then like, yeah, okay. Let's listen, man. Nobody got mad at Edge for being the ultimate opportunist and just capitalizing when shit went downhill. But Big E's in getting his feelings because he got punched in the face by Seth Rollins and then takes it out on Big O. That's not fair.
Life ain't fair.
Hit that man.
So
with
get
a big
used to
ending
it,
for no
bub.
reason. Yeah. Shut up, Ghost. Ghost Light.
Ghost light. We're gonna use that ghost light to segue into our last debate topic. All right, Jay. Cliff mentioned it earlier, but Jay Lethal last night announced that he is all elite. So the debate topic: Jay Lethal to AEW. We know, ROH had their fallout, so all their talent is not under contract. They're all free agents and able to go anywhere. So Jay Lethal decided to make the jump to AEW. Is this the right career move for Jay Lethal? Let's start there. Let's start with you, Cliff.
100%. It's the right move. Like, he goes to Impact, does the same things that he was doing before, or he goes to All Elite and showcase what he could do on a big screen TV, like on a bigger screen. Like, bro, like this was the move. Like, I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about it, right? But we've been talking about how AEW needs to have that black star show up, right? Jade is on the female side, but we've been talking about the male side, right? For a long time, right? That Scorpio Sky, as talented as he is, he's not a needle mover, right? But Jay is, and he's proven that in multiple promotions. So yeah, I think this is not only just a good move, this is the best move for him. And everybody's now going to start seeing how he moves the needle. Like, I don't see any negative with Jay Lethal coming in. And they immediately slotted him into a championship match for the TNT title. I mean, I'm not going to say if. When he wins against Sammy Guevara, then people are going to be like, oh shit, like, look what this man is doing. And then you can prep him to have a title run and establish that he is a main eventer.
All right, JJ, what you got?
I'm gonna say I agree with this move. I feel like if he would have went to WWE, he would have been a joke.
Oh yeah.
Like just WWE in general, like it's kind of hard to find your footing there, if we're gonna be honest. Impact, he would have an impact. Haha. No, not a good pun. But Impact, he'll have a good a good impact. But I think like Cliff said, if you want to. If you want to show your talents to a wider audience and pick up more fans, you know what I mean? Then AEW is the way to go. I would say WWE, but like we said, he'd probably be a joke. So
I would never, and
Yeah.
like I know Chaz wants to get his point across. I would never say WWE for Jay Lethal. They wouldn't know what to do. They've shown that. They had
ding,
Keith Lee.
ding, ding.
They had Keith Lee, this man who was like a ready-made superstar for that place, did his own deliveries, got over on his own, did everything. People loved him just the way he was. Vince was like, I don't get him, and then just got rid of him. Like, what are they gonna do? The problem, and here's what I would say WWE would do. WWE would be like, oh, we totally heard that Macho Man impression of yours. So we'll just bring you as the impersonator. That's what you'll do, Jay. And that's how you'll get over with these fans, is doing impressions. You're gonna Sandow him. That's what they want to do. Go ahead, Chaz. I'm sorry.
You're good. So I'll make sure I keep that. I answer the question. I take my personal feelings about Jay Lethal aside. As far as a career move for Jay Lethal, I agree. Yes, this was the right move for him. Besides either going to New Japan.
Oh, I forgot about New Japan. Yeah.
I think New Japan would have been a great other option for Jay Lethal to go. Either New Japan and even NWA is probably also another good one. But like you both have stated, for Jay Lethal to get eyes on him on one of the biggest stages, and let's keep frank. The AEW is the biggest stage in professional wrestling. It is AEW. That's the biggest stage. It's not WWE anymore. It's not. The biggest stage as far as professional wrestling goes, not sports entertainment, but professional wrestling, is AEW. That was the perfect move for him. Yes, this is good from the fact that, yes, we, and when I say we, the Black wrestling community, we have been vilifying Tony Khan and AEW, since day one about representation and as far as, Black wrestlers on their shows. And they started it with the women. We had Red Velvet, we got Jade, we count Brandy when she does, eventually makes her comeback. But there is no one really on the men's side, besides Scorpio Sky. And Scorpio Sky isn't really, he's not a needle mover like we thought he was, or that we thought he could have been. So Jay Lethal, yes, brings in star power. ROH, legend in and of itself. I would think that with Jay Lethal coming in, that would imply that Jay Lethal would be, at least a big player in AEW, and not to be put on the back burner like some other stars, like a Bobby Fish has been, even though Bobby Fish isn't really been put on the back burner because he's doing stuff with the Elite. But some of the people that have come in and, they had the big pop, like, yeah, and then, go on the back burner. I think Jay Lethal is a star and a mainstay in AEW. I don't know as far as, the contract and all that and signing how long it is or whatnot, but I do know that Jay Lethal, whether he's doing his, machismo gimmick or whether he's just, being straightforward Jay Lethal, I think he's a star. And it's good that a lot of more eyes can see Jay Lethal for what he's worth. I would have loved to see Jonathan Gresham.
Nobody says he's not coming though.
That's also
this is the crazy part. Nobody said nothing about Shane Taylor not coming over to AEW. No one has said anything about Jonathan Gresham, Keith Lee, like Moses. Like nobody has said those guys aren't coming. That's the craziest part. Like Kenny King being another person that, because they all can sit on their ROH contracts until December 31st and some of them until March 31st. Then they can kind of do whatever they want to do. But nobody has said that those guys aren't coming yet. And that's the best part. Nobody is talking about how Trish Adora could be All Elite.
Wow, you're right. But yeah, It's a good move. It's a good move because going back to Impact, he'll be back doing the same old stuff. He been there, done that. So why not take a gamble, go get on AEW, go get on that national stage. Go get on TNT, brother, or TBS starting next year. But go get on Turner's network, and go show out. And that's my personal reasons aside, my unbiased opinion. Off air, we can talk about how my real feelings towards that. But Jay Lethal, AEW is a good move for his career. Good move for AEW as far as bringing in black talent. I think that's really a big thing, and that's why I can't say too much bad stuff about it, because they're trying. They're making strides to fixing. Not gonna say fixing, but fixing the cracks. Putting the caulking in the cracks. And that they have in there, and Jay Lethal is a good addition to their
and see, like, my only issue, right, like, is that there's gonna be a lot more stars coming up, and we're gonna have to get those guys, right? And I say I'm in the sense of AEW. I don't mean like I'm in that company, because I'm not. I don't accept paychecks anymore from Tony Khan. But like, you look, Top Flight, Private Party, Scorpio Sky to an extent, because obviously like he was a part of like SCU. He's also been a part of Men of the Year, Sunny Kiss, right? Nyla, she's been a huge staple.
That's what pisses me off. Jay's. What is Sunny? They haven't done anything.
But that's my point. That's what I'm trying to go with.
That ticks me. That really ticks me off. Every time someone mentions Sunny, like shout out to my boy Rico. Rico's facing Sunny in a couple weeks, but like he was there, I we can get into this. This is gonna be a topic for next week, but I feel like they signed him for that shock value and for clout is why they signed him, because they've done nothing after the whole thing with him and Janela. They've done nothing. Him when he lost to Kenny and like the 5 seconds that it was, and they made it seem like they were going to do something after the fact with that. They did nothing. Have not seen Sunny. I've not heard anything. He's been on Dark, on Elevation. Nothing.
And Sunny is like an unbelievable talent. And I get it, right? That's my point, though.
And he's a good person. I've met him before. He's awesome. Really nice guy.
And that's my point being, though, is that like with Sunny and Scorpio Sky like not really being like pushed up, Scorpio Sky had like, he, as he said it, he grabbed that sonic ring and like, it's nothing, man. And then like they turned him heel, right? And although I do appreciate what he does as a heel work, I need this man to just get elevated up. He just needs to get elevated up. Like, I don't like the fact that he's in the tag division. I didn't like that Sunny Kiss was in the tag division. I don't like the fact, I do like Top Flight and I do like Private Party, but the problem is that they're not getting over, but they're also not being showcased. And that's the bigger problem. Like, yeah, I can go back and watch a show like Dark and see Private Party winning matches, but it's not doing anything for them. Also, Leo Rush is there, and I want to see what they're going to do with the Man of the Hour. Are they just going to stick him on as part of like a trio with Top Flight? Like, what is the plan with him? Because I want to see more from him with Lee as well. I want to see more from Lee.
With that, it depends on whether his brother gets back, as far as his injury.
Well, he had a torn ACL. He'll be back next year.
Next year.
But it's just there's this more factor that we want from like certain wrestlers, and we're I don't want to say you're relegating them to the tag division, but you're never really showcasing them. They're showcasing their abilities on Dark, but I want to see more. Like, where the fuck is Sean Dean? Like, is he still on Dark? Like, I know he has a job with AEW. I know you do, because I've seen it. But like Charlie Bravo is not on the show anymore. Like, I want to see guys like, I want to see Darius back on, signed with AEW, showcasing what he can do. There's so much other great talent out there, like black wrestling talent, that is just not being showcased. Like, it's crazy to me. I want to see this trio's titles that they're talking about bringing, the 6-man titles. Like, it will not be, I'm telling you right now, AEW, it will not be a 6-man tournament if you do not have Shane Taylor Promotions in it. And I say that biasly. 100% biasly.
And then, you know, it won't be 3-man if you don't have these 3 people there either. And I'm saying that biasly as well. But no, I agree with you. I agree with you. Like, it's, you see more like the black ton that they do have are just, they're either they're on dark or they're in the tag division. Like, you know, the Acclaimed tag team.
There's a team I forgot just to mention.
Yeah. Private Party tag team. You know, there are no single, you know, black stars in that company. And, you know, Jay Lethal, you know, will probably be the first. And it sucks because and it's something I hate, you know, and I don't mean any disrespect to Scorpio Sky, you know, whatnot, because like, not saying that he can't be that, but it's just in the 2 years that we've had AEW, he has not been showcased in that light. He was, like you said, he was with SCU. He was the tag team guy. And now he's back in another tag team. And then that little short stint that he had when he was by himself, when he won the Sonic Ring, they did nothing with him. So
let's not forget that this was the first person to pin Chris Jericho.
That's facts as well. And did nothing.
Did nothing.
Nothing.
Something's not quite white about that. Wait, never mind.
You know what?
Get the laugh track.
Need a laugh track for that one. But no, it's crazy to think, because like, it's not that they don't have black talent. And that's the thing. It's like, we sit here, we're talking about it like they don't have black talent, but they do.
They're all on dark. Wait. That's
it's just wild. It's just wild how we can legit go through and list like all the talent that they have and know what they have. And it's like, yeah, but if you push Leo Rush, right, towards like the TNT title, like you're showcasing a little bit, right? Obviously, Scorpio Sky needs to get back into singles because he can hold it down as a singles wrestler. You know, we talk about, look at the incredible things that, you know, Private Party was this awesome tag team when they were like faces, and I don't, it sounds very bad when I say this, ever since they joined Matt Hardy, just another team. Another team. Top Flight and the Acclaim. Top Flight, and Top Flight and the Acclaim are just like this massive ass team, like teams that aren't really being shown, obviously because Dante's brother's injured. I know that, but you know, that squad, Top Flight, when they get back and start running again, like I want to see the big push for them to get a title run right towards it. I want to see Private Party back in the title hunt. I want to see the Acclaim in the title hunt. Like, I just don't like the fact that it's going to be like 3 or 4 tag teams that we're really going to talk about, right? So like the Bucks, FTR, Santana Ortiz, the Lucha Bros, right? Jurassic Express, right? Those are all great teams. But I want to start seeing these other teams start knocking on that opportunity as well. And I think the Acclaim, and I think when Top Flight get back together, and I want Private Party to run as Private Party, not as Matt Hardy's foundation. I appreciate the fact that they want to stick a new, or not really a new, but like an older generation dude with the new generation, right? So as an offense, as you know, Christian Cage with Jurassic Express, Matt Hardy with Private Party, Leo Rush with Top Flight, right? I can appreciate that. Yeah, Darby and Sting, you know, Jake the Snake with Lance Archer. I can appreciate those things because I understand what you're doing. You're giving the rub to the new talent by linking them with the old generation. But changing a character like you did with Private Party damaged them. It didn't help them. And I want that brought back. Like maybe that's what they wanted to do, was go another direction and go more towards like the serious route. And by all means, cool. But you've been doing it for a while now. And to be real, you're not really clicking. you're just not clicking with it. I need something more from it.
All right, let's move on to the power rankings. It's now time for the greatest segment in all the 3 Count podcast. It's now time for the Red Dogs Power Rankings.
Bow, 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 bow.
Our fans are gonna have to rewind this because Josh's dick is hanging out. I had to give him a look. Yo, let's get into these power rankings. We obviously haven't had them for a little while now because, I did happen to break our streak, but we are coming back. But I do want to talk about last week's power rankings because we didn't talk. We had a show. We didn't have a show. We had an emergency kind of happen. But I want to talk about it. So we're going to jump into November 7th really quick before we jump into this week's. So let's talk about number 8 because we have a top 8 that week, not a top 10. Because you know what? I'm going to be honest. I didn't really think there was enough matches to qualify a top 10. So number 8, we are going to talk about Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams versus Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis on NXT 2.0. That makes the spot. We're going to get into number 7 with Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair on Raw. Number 6 is Drew McIntyre versus Ricochet on SmackDown, because I definitely can say I appreciated the fuck out that match. Number 5, this is actually one of my favorite matches from like the past 2 weeks. Adam Cole, baby, versus Johnny Hungy himself, Jonathan Silver on Rampage. I love that. We're going to talk about King Woods versus Jimmy Uso on SmackDown. Number 3 is going to be Big E versus Kevin Owens on Raw. Number 2, I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this. And yeah, I'm not really going to argue this point. Brian Danielson, my stuff was messed up, versus Anthony Bowen on Rampage, made number 2. I have to be honest, I really appreciate that match. And number 1, this is another one that's not going to be appreciated, but it needs to be. Kenny Omega versus 5 from Dynamite is the number 1 match from last week. I know you're not a Kenny fan. I get it. But, 5 got a lot of offense in. He showed off, they really showcased a brand new talent with that one. And I really appreciated that. So let's jump into this week's with number 10. We're going to start off with Raju versus Rocky Romero on Impact. We're going to jump into number 9, which was already brought up today. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens on Raw. We're going to number 8. Wow, I can't count. Pete Dunne versus Carmelo Hayes on
That was a fire. That was probably going to be that was like runner-up. But that match was fire. I had to point that out.
Let's jump into number 7, which is Bryan Danielson versus Rocky Romero on Dynamite. And I think this is the first time I've had a person on the top 10 that lost twice. Let's get into number 6. This was like a very underrated match, and we really didn't even touch on it, and we should have. But King Woods versus Roman Reigns on SmackDown. So let's talk about number 5. We have CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston on Full Gear. Obviously, now you guys can see the trends that's happening, right? Number 4. This is probably the one that really, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but Jungle Boy versus Bobby Fish on Rampage. I enjoyed this match a lot. Number 3 is going to be Bryan Danielson versus Miro on Full Gear. Number 2, Chaz, this was my favorite tag match of the week. and it was the Lucha Bros versus FTR on Full Gear. I know.
I don't know if I like. So the funny thing is this, right? With that match, I don't know if I liked it. I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I liked it.
Right.
Like it was cool. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I feel like I don't like the mix of the Lucha Brothers and FTR. I think it's so contrasting styles, and it's just it gives me a headache.
And then our number one match, let's be honest, man, it is Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega at Full Gear.
Yeah.
I'm just doing the Matt Jackson. Just give it the nod.
Yeah, it was like that. That match was like that. Hopefully, I will say this: I give Kenny a lot of flack, and I will continue to give Kenny a bunch of flack, as long as his supporters are out there and they claim that he is, what he isn't. But I hope Kenny takes a nap. I want him to rest and and relax, because what he's done over the past year, the run that he's had, has been on point, regardless of what I feel. But he's worked, and he deserves a nice couple months of just rest. Like, no, he needs to just rest until next year. Like, I don't want to just don't let him give him the rest of the year off. Let him relax. I know he has some injuries nagging. Let him recuperate, because he deserves the well rest, because he deserves it. He definitely does. But until then, Kenny, thank you for what you did, but it's time for you to go away. Let Hangman do his thing. And then, when you come back, then I can start giving you more shit for everything that you do in your jazz hands and your prancing around the ring and all that bullshit that you do, that you call art. Hit ropes. But yeah. All right. I hate it. Just dive, man. It didn't get the crowd clapping. Like, of course. He should go splat like I did. All that clapping he does, and then anyway. The power rankings were pretty good, Cliff. No. Did I miss the Leo? Did you not put Leo in them in the top 10? Okay.
Yeah, that Leo Rush tag match didn't make it. What would have been honorable mention if I would have put it in.
Okay.
It was good though. I'm not gonna front, but yeah.
Well, then now I do have a problem with your power ranking. I'd put that over the over the
FTR.
Yeah, the FTR match. But yeah, all righty. So with that being said, thank you for those who have made it this far to the end of our show. You have now achieved an achievement if you have an Xbox, or if you have a PlayStation, you've just gotten a trophy. Because it is like I say every week, it is a struggle to get through our show. But I thank you for those sticking with us and and making it to the end. So for those of you who made it to the end, make sure you hit that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star Frog Splash review, and make sure you subscribe to us on Spotify as well. And then, wherever you get your podcast fancy at, whether it's Google Podcast, Stitcher, Pandora. I think I know Pandora apparently does podcasts now. Whatever it is that you get your podcast fancy on, definitely hit us up there. Follow us on all of our social medias, whether it's 3count_pod on Twitter or 3countpod everywhere else. That's the number 3. Don't you dare type in THREE, or I'm gonna get the red dog on you, and he's gonna pew 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 pew, just get loaded. What you call it? Well, if you type in THREE, so don't do that if you don't want the red dog on to get hit you with that.
To the upper room.
Alrighty then. You tune in to our next episode of Now Into Arena that's coming out. Or you check out JJ Reviews. Subscribe to him. Also, buy a shirt. Just buy a goddamn freaking shirt. And that's all my announcements. And I'm going to close this show out. My name is Chaz Evans. I'm the Don. Here with the Red Dog, your favorite mercenary, Cliff Red Dog Miller. Here with Drip JJ. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the 3 Count Bot Podcast Debate Show. Tune in next week. Be there or be somewhere else.
Thank you, Vintage Wrestling.
Hey guys, it's the host of the 3 Count, Chaz Evans here. Make sure to let you know that I don't run shit, I don't do shit, I just talk shit. And make sure you subscribe to our podcast. What else did you do? You should also follow us on all social medias. That's the Facebook at 3 Count Podcast, the Instagram at 3 Count Pod, and the Twitter at 3Count_pod. Also, if you like us a lot, you should definitely buy a t-shirt at prowrestlingtees.com/3countpod, and that's the number 3. Don't be an idiot and type in THREE, because you're not going to find anything. So make sure you follow us at 3CountPod or 3Count_pod on Twitter and buy a shirt. Be there or be somewhere else.